Hey guys, Vance here. Today, we're bringing you a top tips beginner's guide for Final Fantasy XIV. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV for quite a few years now, since A Realm Reborn's beginning. Over the years, there have been quite a lot of quality life changes and features added to the game. With this tips guide, I'm going to be putting this list in order as if you're going to be making a brand new character. Anyway, without further ado, let's get this started. Before picking a character, there's one thing that we suggest you do, and that is server research. Picking the right server for your first character can make the leveling experience vastly different from server to server. Some servers have predominantly English speakers, whereas others can feature other languages like a heavy German population, such as the server Shiva. There's one feature, however, which is game changing, and that is the Road to 70. The Road to 70 is a massive increase of XP gained from level 1 to level 70. It's made to help new players catch up. You can find out which server features the Road to 70 by selecting a server on the character creator screen. There should be a star next to the server which has a Road to 70 enabled. There's another cool thing about the Road to 70. Once you level up a character to level 30, 15 days of game time is added to your account. You'll also get 10 silver chocobo feathers which can be exchanged for gear at levels 20, 50, 60 and 70, but I recommend holding onto those feathers till level 50. And using it on the level 50 gear, as some of the starter gear will last you to level 30. This will make the progressing through the later content much easier and enjoyable. One thing I've seen a lot of people do on their first playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV is playing a healing class. Whilst the idea of playing a healing class supporting your team in dungeons and out in the world does sound really cool, however, when that's put into practice and you're questing out in the open world, the combat at low levels is very repetitive and monotonous. Quite often I've seen people run out of steam and switch classes out of boredom to something else. There's a really good solution to that is the Arcanist job. The great thing about the Arcanist class is that it is the only dual class job in the game, meaning that you'll be leveling a DPS job and a healing job at the same time. So whilst you're out in the open world, you can use the summoner job to kill things really quickly, and if you want to heal some dungeons for those fast queues, you can switch to Scholar. It definitely is the best and most strongest job duo for a beginner to pick up and play. I would also say their glamour is quite nice too. However, that is the endgame, and you'll see what I mean when you get to that. One thing new players usually overlook is the importance of food buffs. Whilst they bring in some nice stats, they also have one thing which is always the same at any food level. A 3% XP increase gained buff which lasts around 25 minutes. You should get some from your very first quest to get you started, and also some along the way from quests. Every little helps. 3% over 80 levels really does go a long way. Hall of the Novice is something which I can't stress enough is something which you just need to do. At level 15 you can talk to an NPC called the Smith, and you can find him in any of your starting areas, usually found next to the inn. They will usually put you through trials teaching you about your class that you have selected. They will grant you significant XP and some really high quality gear. Once completing all of these trials, you will do one final trial testing everything you have learned. You will be rewarded with a ring with powerful stats, but not only that, it will give you a boost of 30% to all XP gained until level 30. This will be an amazing thing to have if you decide to level up more classes in the future. But not only that, the gear will make life so much easier questing out in the open world. One thing you'll be doing on your journey to level 80 is teleporting. You'll teleport around a lot, and I mean it. We recommend that you right-click your home city, Aetheryte, and make it a return point. Also be sure to select another city, Aetheryte, as your free teleport location. It should make teleport costs lower in the future. One very important thing you should also do is take the time to run around the city and pick up these mini Aetherites. Trust me when I say this, it can save a huge amount of time and patience for later on. Seriously, do it. The reason being, the main scenario quest will keep you returning and running around all the cities for all the various job quests too. I just want to talk to you guys a moment about story skipping. If you've seen other guides saying, don't skip the story, well, I'm going to sound like a bit of a broken record. I'll give you a better reason than the story is amazing. By don't skip the story I mean do not purchase the job and quest boosts from the Mog Station. By all means, feel free to skip the cutscenes in the game if it isn't your cup of tea. The reason you shouldn't get a boost is because you would be missing out on some really amazing PvE fights, which not only teach you the basic fundamentals of playing the game, which I can assure you will become very important later on in higher level fights, but you would also miss out on exclusive glamour, which you can only attain from playing the story, such as weapon appearances and armor sets. I don't know if you are like me, but I love to take pictures in video games. With that in mind, if you skip, you'll be missing out on some stunning vistas and locations, which the main scenario quest has you journey through. I think this one comment which I found from Reddit says it best. From Silver11, I quote, "Don't play this game exclusively for the endgame fights. I would recommend you play it for many different types of content, all of which are extremely fun. But if you are playing for only one thing, it's probably not a great pick. Remember, this is a theme park MMO after all. It would be pretty silly to buy a ticket to a theme park and only go on one ride. The same thing applies here. If you planned on playing it for just the story, endgame fights, glamour, hanging out with friends, achievement hunting, crafting, money making, and minion mount collecting, then this is the perfect game. Even if you are only looking at 2 or 3 of those things, it's definitely a great pick. But if you focus on just one type of content, you will quickly run out of that kind of stuff to do and drop the game pretty quickly." And I just couldn't agree more. Once you've made your way through the story, I can recommend looking for a free company. What is a free company? Well, a free company is what you would call a guild in most other games. It's practically the same thing with a few cool added features, but I'm going to show you a great way to find one that suits you. There's a community finder webpage, which you can find in the description below for a link, which allows you to find free companies that are recruiting on your server. You can also tailor the search to your server or your interests, such as whether you're a casual player or if you have an interest in participating in high-end duties. Give it a try, you might thank me later. The inventory view by default can be quite cumbersome, having to navigate through pages just to find something. Well, I've got a little tip here that will make your life much easier and improve the view of your inventory space. Press escape and go to character configuration settings. Next, navigate down to the item tab settings. It should look like a little bag. At the top, you will see inventory settings. By default, it should be set to normal. I recommend open all setting, which creates one big box and shows all your items in one place. I hope you'll agree, but it looks better. Now, if you're a WoW player, or have played any other MMO, you'll probably find that the combat can be quite annoying, especially that one thing that makes your character automatically face your target when attacking. This in later game can get you killed when you're trying to dodge mechanics. Well, anyway, I always recommend this to players who want a bit more freedom during combat. Basically, we're going to turn off the auto face target when attacking, meaning strafing whilst attacking is possible. We're going to need to go into the character configuration settings once more. This time, navigate to control settings and find the tab target. Right at the top, you should see an option which says automatically face a target when using an action. Uncheck this option. I hope this will help you avoid some nasty deaths later on in your gameplay. That is all for this little tips video, guys. If I have missed something you feel is important, let me know down in the comments below. If you want to see more from me and us at the Fashionista, please do subscribe and like this video, and it means the world to us. Thanks for watching. I am Vance, signing off.